Agriculture and agribusiness is probably as old as mankind and arguably one of the mainstays of human existence since creation. This is because it does not only provide food and nourishment for human beings for the sustenance of humanity, but also for its many byproducts that feed major manufacturing concerns and other allied industries globally. Quite a large number of industries depend on agriculture as a primary source of raw materials for production of goods. In time past, agriculture was the mainstay of Nigeria's economy. But the discovery of crude oil in commercial quantity in Oloibiri in present-day Bayelsa State in 1958 marked a turning point in the nation's economy as agriculture was relegated to the background.
Ideally, if resources from the oil and gas sector is properly utilized, there is efficiency in use of resources. It is actually supposed to spur the development of the agricultural sector. But the fact is that there is a disconnect somewhere and very huge costs to Nigeria because it has been a bane to development.
Since the creation of Delta State in August 1991, the state economy, just like the national, has been run on monoproduct, crude oil. While oil wealth has played its part in sustaining the economic wants of the state, it can hardly be said to be enough to sustain the needs of the people. Meanwhile, the state is abundantly blessed with rich agricultural endowments such as fertile arable land and comparative advantage in oil palm production, fishery, cassava, yams, and many others that have remained largely untapped.
Before the discovery of oil, we were into agriculture. We had a lot of exports like rubber, palm oil, palm kernel. We have the enabling environment, physical environment, and the biological environment, the climatic environment to produce any type of crop. Delta State is blessed. In short, South states in the Niger Delta region, they are blessed.
To avoid the pitfalls Nigeria fell into, Senator Dr. Arthur Ifeanyi-Okowa, on assumption of office, promised to do things differently as encapsulated in his SMART agenda, a policy document of his administration under which agriculture and agribusiness enjoy premium attention. The aim is not only to produce enough food and crush food prices, but also as a means of empowering its unemployed youths and women, as well as turn them into entrepreneurs and CEOs of their own farm holdings.
When we talk about Delta beyond oil, it's not just about the world beyond oil. What actions are we taking towards that? We are beginning to change the narrative and to encourage our people to ensure that they acquire the necessary skills and to be self-dependent. We're thinking about agriculture. We have programs for our farmers who are already there. We have partnerships with commercial farmers who have come in. A lot is being done. The Youth Agricultural Program is also doing very well. And a lot of people are acquiring skills and starting on their own.
One of the measures His Excellency put in at the Agro-Industrial Park, we're also doing enhancing production centers, processing centers. We've involved NEPC, NIPC, different relevant agencies. So a set of people will be doing production, another set will be doing processing, another set will be doing the final packaging, some will do the marketing, and then we'll be having aggregation centers. We'll look into warehousing and how to really do big business. So this is where we're going in terms of agric in order to get the kind of money that we're realizing in oil and gas.
A start point for the government is the recruitment and training of young Deltans like these ones. 1,148 strong number for 2018-2019 fourth cycle. Armed with inputs and starter packs as empowerment, they were charged to go do exploits in their chosen agricultural endeavors and agribusiness.
What you are seeing today is our own idea of job creation, our own idea of creating entrepreneurs out of our youth. Some of them have gone into cassava production. Some of them also have gone into processing. It's a big joy to us that we have created people who are employers of tomorrow.
The Delta State government haven't been able to recognize that agriculture is very, very critical in national development, food production, job creation and growth, has been able to walk the talk in provision of basic amenities for agricultural improvement in Delta State.
Previous cycle of empowerment by the state government threw up the likes of Lovev Enyenakbo, CEO of JJ Enyen's Farm Enterprises, who, in her right, is an ambassador of Youth Agricultural Entrepreneurship Program, YAGEP. She narrated how the first-class training she received from YAGEP prepared her for exploits.
When I got into this YAGEP program, from the 2 weeks we spent at Songa, the various resource persons that came to talk to us on how we can grow our businesses, from there I said, this is what I'm going to do. I had to take this seriously. We did the practical. The government ensured that they posted us to reputable farms. Here we learn everything that we need to know to equip us for the task ahead.
It is worthy of mention that she has also won funding from globally renowned Tony Elumelu Foundation TEF on account of solid foundation from YAGEP. Smart Delta Media crew visited her farm in Abraka, Ethiopia East to see things for ourselves. She revolutionized her fish farming business as she has well over 2,700 fish in her tarpaulin and concrete ponds. She produces her own feeds with this machine after sourcing local foods with rich nutrients like soya beans, maize, groundnuts, fish meal, and others. She also plans to have her own brood stock to hatch her fingerlings like the over 1,000 in this pond. Interestingly, she is not kidding with security to protect her investments with this menacing Rottweiler watching over her investments day and night. Smart Delta sought to know her thoughts about the agribusiness policy of the OKOWA-led administration. Hear her.
The vision of the government is a very, very good one. In fact, I'm enjoying the business right now. I didn't know anything concerning fish farming, but the government brought this idea to me and I took it seriously and I'm benefiting from it.
Two interns understudying her, Emily Oyomojeria and Aluya Omojero from Delta State University, Delsu, Abraka, also shared with Smart Delta their experiences of learning the ropes under a master and their expectations.
I've learned a lot since I've been here. I learned that in this fish business there is a feeding position, unlike before that I was not exposed to all these things. Of a truth, this whole training is preparing me ahead of what I will encounter in life.
I've learned a lot and it's going to help me in the future and in time being. I intend to start my own farm when I graduate because I don't intend working under somebody. So I want to be the boss of myself.
Not too far away in Egbokodo Ishekiri in Warri, other fish farmers are holding down their own end of agribusiness in fish farming in this huge cluster. There are at least 244 Shikoko Eden ponds built in the natural swampy terrain and owned by 90 Yagapreneurs. Here, fish farmers like Simon Ogbiye, a protege of YAGEP, bestride these ponds like a colossus, as the confidence he exudes about the future of agribusiness is, to say the least, infectious. He is not only proud of his enterprise, but lauds the vision of the Delta State government under the watch of Senator Ifeanyi Okowa for initiating policies pointing in the right direction.
I was lucky to be selected among those who were fortunate to be in the Smart Agenda program, which is YAGAP. After the training in Songhai Delta, we went through our internship and we were empowered. Since then, I become the boss of myself. Kudos to the amiable governor.
Simon is not alone, as Obare Idafe tells Smart Delta how crest-broken he was before now, till Agribusiness came to his rescue through YAGAP.
I will give kudos to the executive governor because I will use myself as a case study. Since I focus on this, I have seen myself become an entrepreneur. I have even got my own brand, which is OKOWA'S. People knew me for that.
It is also interesting to note that not too far away at Ugbokodo Okwe cluster, another set of over 63 fish farmers hold sway in 128 she cocoa ponds. These are without prejudice to the many other clusters scattered all over the state.
This is a very good program because it has provided employment for jobless youth. For example, I graduated from Delta State University as an agricultural science student. There was no job actually, but with this program, I've been able to obtain a farm, which I've been able to sustain myself.
With this program, I know the importation of fish is reduced immensely. I know people from Edo State, Bayelsa, they come to patronize us here. And with the special grace of God, I know we export to other neighboring countries.
From Warri, Smart Delta made a detour to Onichokwani in OKOWA'S local government area. Here we paid a visit to Ife Mond Farm, owned by Azuka Oda. He is a beneficiary of government pig multiplication program. We saw the stock he is nurturing to boost his agribusiness. Mr. Azuka tells us that pig farming is very interesting as it is lucrative. He thanked the government for the vision. If you feed the stock right, he says, with rich palm kernel cake PKC fortified with other nutrients, the pigs will fatten properly. If you marry these with good sanitation and veterinary services when needed, you are in business.
There's money in it. You can't be poor as far as pig is concerned. Because with the meat, you can sell and make money. With the waste products, you can sell and make money. So everything in pig is like palm trees. It's a very rich animal.
Smart Delta was curious why PKC was the main diet of the pigs. The answer wasn't far away as Mike Diokbara, Azuka's colleague and nutritionist, came in handy.
PKC is a byproduct of the palm kernel industry. Research has shown that vegetable sources of protein and feed materials are better than animal sources. It is fed to the animals for the purpose of giving them fat and fiber.
Veterinary services are key to the success of any animal husbandry endeavor. Apart from prevention of transfer of diseases from animal to man after consumption, the stock will be healthy. We met Solomon Morsi, an animal health officer in the Ministry of Agriculture, treating the pigs. He explains the importance of vet services.
Apart from preventing diseases from affecting the animal, from making them to have mortality, they are free, they are safe for human consumption. So if you consume, you cannot be infected with any disease they are having.
From Ukwani, we hit the road to Ila to visit Holy Cross Monastery Pig Farm. On arrival, a farmhand, Bartholomew Omelonye, takes us on a tour explaining that the farm benefited a total of 100 piglets from the government pig multiplication program on account of their capacity. Here we saw fattened pigs we didn't believe existed. They have fattened them to the extent some of the sows have farrowed, thereby increasing their stock. They keep a healthy stock of boars for breeding and meat. We noticed he also feeds his stock with PKC fortified with other nutrients we didn't see in the previous pig farm. A combination of this with regular vet services, he explains, is the magic of his vibrant and fattened pigs.
PKC, we have different qualities. We have the one made with a local machine and the one made with a foreign machine. The one made with a local machine, it has more quality than the one with a foreign machine. And that one is more expensive because it contains larger quantity of oil, which is another nutrition to the pigs.
Bartholomew tells us pig farming is a money spinner, as he sold one of the big ones for 130,000 naira, and the medium-sized ones can go for as much as 50,000 naira depending on the breed. He further explains that there are close to 3,000 pigs on the farm, describing their partnership with government on the program as a winner for food and job creation.
I'm very happy with the state government. With their initiative now, helping the farmers to grow, I believe that at a time, Delta will be one of the biggest farming states. If not now, it will be in the nearest future. So I advise young people to key into pig farming, especially this time that government is out to help the people.
Hey, welcome to Delta. Governor where they want OKOWA.
Hi, my name is Fretless and I live in Asaba, capital city of Delta State. As an entertainer, my job entails a lot of movement from one place to the other and also to be at the right place at the right time, meaning that I need good roads to be able to meet up with work or appointments. And with the new government reform on construction and rehabilitation of all major and feeder roads in the state as part of a smart agenda, it has become so easy for me to move around at all times. Now, I just cruise from street to street, city to city, all over the state. And even apart from the roads as I move along daily, I see magnificent projects everywhere. Check out this one in Warri and several other places. Wow. Governor OKOWA is indeed a man with a vision.
Come see empowerment through the step and the again. Correct. Your joy education and sports development. That's why Delta not they carry last at all. Who they bring peace? The communities and the creeks. Even storm drainage to carry water to the river. Lot of healthcare, housing and agriculture. Prosperity, prompt payment of salaries. The people they happy with OKOWA. OKOWA not the tire. Every day he they work, even job creation, water provision. Everything correct with OKOWA.
In oil palm production, the Ministry of Agriculture has cultivated over 4,000 hectares through their many farmers on the program in the past 4 years. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Austin Ogoro, disclosed this in a chat with Smart Delta while talking about future plans.
Oil palm is dear to all of us. Last year, we were together with the Delta Investment Agency, DIDA, trying to see how we can plan towards 2020-2021. Beyond that, we should be able as a government to encourage investors to invest in refining. The policy direction is actually to stretch the value chain so that we can get optimum benefit from oil palm program.
As usual, Smart Delta was hungry for first-hand information. So, we took off to visit the farm of Kesta Manasseh, one of the beneficiaries making oil palm a big agribusiness. We noticed his palms have grown better than the last time we visited about a year ago. He has 300 oil palm trees planted on 2 hectares of land, explaining that he will be smiling to the bank in another 2 years as this dwarf improved species starts fruiting in their 3rd year.
We are very happy what government is doing for us. This palm is just 1 year. We came here April last year. By August there will be 2. So, and in the next 3 years, this things will start producing. We appreciate the government, what they are doing. It has never been like this before. I'm enjoying the work because I know where I'm going to.
Like before, he gave us some bunches from his older plantation.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Kesta. Yeah, thank you. Smart Delta once again is a beneficiary of fresh palm fruits from this farm.
It is worthy of mention that government's policy in the agri sector has shored up investor confidence for private sector participation in oil palm and also rice cultivation, which is gaining plenty attention in Delta State.
What we are planting here is long grain rice, Faro 44. When we process, I assure you, you may not be able to differentiate what we are producing here and what is important to the country.
We've already employed hundreds of people who are already working on the farm, and as we progress, it's going to create thousands of direct employment besides the tens of thousands of indirect employment that will come out of this.
As part of ongoing agricultural reform program, Delta Agricultural and Rural Development Authority (DARDA) recently flagged off Farmers Special Support Program in poultry, piggery, fishery and cassava enterprises. The beneficiaries on hand were representatives of over 250 farmers in each of their farm holdings. Commissioner for Economic Planning Kingsley Emu, who stood in for Governor Ifeanyi Okowa on the day, explained that agriculture has become a cornerstone of the state's economy.
We're not just giving to startups, we're giving to existing small farm holders. And what are we targeting under our production processing and support program is to create more employment. Any farmer that you give 10 more pigs to in 4 months' time, whether you like it or not, he requires either 2 more workers as incremental, or he will even pay the existing ones well, which is also prosperity for those people, and his businesses will grow.
It's one thing to birth a child, it's another thing to support the child to grow. This program is helping my business to grow because we actually needed this sustenance program.
Well, I appreciate the government so far, and I thank God that today is a reality that I'm a beneficiary of this program.
The farmers were giving inputs free of cost to grow their various farm holdings. For instance, cassava farmers had earlier gotten 30,000 bundles of cassava stems shared among 1,000 farmers for the 2017-2018 farming season.
Smart Delta.
For Ogade, who is also on the government cassava program, but later expanded into pineapple farming, lauds government policy on agriculture, explaining that greater things lie ahead. His position was also echoed by Mr. Andrew, a fellow beneficiary with over 8 hectares of cassava of his own.
Government have done well. Now that I have 13 workers, I can increase to 20-25. And I believe those who are employed will also feed from here. Because as government gives me, I feed others, and others will feed others. High rate of poverty will reduce.
The government have helped us a lot by providing this cassava stem to us. The cassava stem was a very nice species, which I've been using for the past 2 years.
In his pineapple orchard, just around the corner, workers were busy on the over 7 hectares weeding. Typically, Smart Delta Media wanted more, so we dug for information about the crop and agriculture in Delta.
The policy is a good one because if you look at what is happening here now, so many youths are here working. These are people who are supposed to be on the streets doing one thing or the other, which may not be good, but today they are here in the farm working and they are earning a living.
We have heard the testimonies of farmers like Mr. Ogade, as well as the others that we have visited before now. These testimonies are pointers to the fact that policies aimed at strengthening agriculture in Delta State is gaining traction. Means something good is happening, and the future can only look brighter.
Ogade was hospitable to the Smart Delta team as we ate some pineapples in the orchard and took some home. Another farmer, a protege of Yagep, who is giving meaning to agribusiness, is Peter Mbeze. He is into tomato crop and other farm holdings. He was part of the recently held exhibition, and the products he had on display came from this farm at Akukwigbo. He took us on an odyssey to a natural spring some 10 feet below sea level, where he installed a sumo to pump water uphill to irrigate his farmlands. He intends to construct an earthen pond for his new fish enterprise down here.
This is our wire, which leads straight to our farm there. So whatever water we take from here,
It's meant for so many purposes. We drink it, we use it for irrigation, we use it for our fish farming and whatever thing we want to do up there. Then this part of the land is where we are intending to build our fish farm. It is a natural place where water comes in for the health of the fish.
Peter says he got the best of training from YAGEP, which he has deployed to derive maximum benefits from his various farming enterprise.
I don't buy tomato, I don't buy beans in my house, I don't buy yam, I don't buy gari. Everything is gotten from this place. Any word that classifies more than grateful is what I am to the Delta State government.
Indeed, this will translate into more money in the pockets of the farmers, more jobs for the youths, more food in the states, as well as abundance of raw materials for industries. This is the foundation on which the Smart Agenda policy stands to bring prosperity to all Deltans.
With most young people in Delta today embracing agribusiness, the government has a lot on its plate to encourage them to do even better.
You better run, come to Delta State. Come and see the good things where OKOWA'S they do. You better run, come to Delta State. Come and see the good things where OKOWA'S they do. I see your job and work creation in Delta. Make the youth say them higher. OKOWA'S. I see good roads everywhere in Delta. Make the people say them cola. Come live in Delta. Say me I say. Come invest in Delta. Come explore the potentials of our state.